Welcome back to Great Day Live. Thanks so much for sticking around with us. Well, there's no better time than the present to start planning for the future.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the team at Lamkin Wealth Management hope to help you do. We're joined this morning by CEO and Senior Wealth Manager Mark Lamkin. Mark, thanks for joining us today. We're curious to know why do you do this, and how are your services different? Because there's a lot of services out there that people can choose from. Why do people need to choose you?
You know, thank you guys for having me. That's a great question. And, 32 years ago, I went to college to be a school teacher to football coach, and just happened to get a call to change my life. And my dad called, and we had a very special person in our family that we had no idea that was going through a bankruptcy. And she was about to lose her house to eviction. She was behind on car payments. She had second mortgages. She picked the wrong pension option, and literally was about to be thrown on the street, and we had no idea. So my first financial plan was to save that woman, to allow her to have a retirement of not her dreams, but make it through and live her final days in dignity. And I decided at that point that my calling was to be a financial planner, and that anybody that dealt with Mark Lamkin or my team will never have to face that with their mom or their grandmother, their aunt, uncle, or themselves for that reason.
Thanks for sharing that, because you might not know this. I think one of my favorite parts about this job, maybe yours too, Claudia, is learning the backstories about people, how they got to where they are and why they got there. So Mark, when people come to meet with you, what can they expect?
Well, most people don't realize that from a woman's perspective, that 80% of women, either through death or divorce, they end up living on their own and making those financial decisions. So I think it's really important to understand that one of the biggest factors on investors' minds, in fact, 42% of investors, their biggest fears: am I going to run out of money? And second, protect my portfolio. Trees don't grow to the skies, and we've had 3 years of 20, 25, 28% gains in this market. There's going to be some unexpected turmoil. So what they get that's different than Mark Lamkin and my team is, most advisors tell you, just hang on, it always comes back. And it always has. But can you go over 10 years without taking the money, like the 2000s, without taking an income? What my team does that's different is, instead of using just stocks and bonds or putting your eggs in those traditional baskets, we're able to use some hedges. For example, in February of 2000, the market's down 19%. My main model was only down to 5% because of the hedges that we use. So there's hedges, there's buffers. This year is going to be really important for dividend producing stocks to give you some of that income. The last 2 years, people don't realize that bonds have lost money. And if the Fed raises 3 or 4 times this year again, the safe part of the portfolio that most advisors may lose money this year. So we are experienced enough to use different types of programs that can protect your principal and make sure you don't outlive your money. And that's where we're different.
Well, Mark, we're into the second week of January now. A lot of people are looking out thinking, oh, geez, what are the financial markets going to do this year? I mean, what are you seeing so far? What do you think is going to happen?
Wow, we've had 3 spectacular years despite the challenges that we've had. And this year is 2 really big things. It's COVID. And I don't think COVID is going to be as bad as it was. I think viruses are going down. I think we're learning to deal with this. And quite frankly, people are vaccinated and learning to live with it. But do we have a major COVID outbreak? But most important, you've heard probably that axiom, don't fight the Fed. The Fed moved transitory out of the transitory inflation deal because inflation is real and it may be here to stay for a while. So the latest report I read says the Fed may raise interest rates 4 times this year to slow this economic growth. Why is that important? Well, it's like a seesaw. When interest rates go up, bond prices go down. So again, if they get really aggressive on fighting this inflation, the safe part of your portfolio could lose money. The second thing is supply chains. If we can get some better, just a better relationship with China in this port situation, if we can solve the supply chain issues, some of the semiconductor issues, you're going to see these prices start coming down. And that's going to help with, that'll even help with labor shortages, because you're going to have a lot more goods and services available. And that's what we're really looking for, because it's COVID and interest rates and that supply chain. Does that inflation come down? If it does, we're projecting that 6 to 8%. If it doesn't, I can almost guarantee you, I'm not saying I'm guaranteeing you, but I'm telling you, if this inflation sticks around, supply chain sticks around, listen, there'll be a time this market may be off 10 to 15%. But in my opinion, it will not be a 2007-8. But after 3 solid years of returns like this, we are going to have some volatility this year. Trust me.
All right, Mark, thank you so much. And we want to let everybody know that Mark and the team at Lamkin Wealth Management host monthly education dinners at Del Fresco's. You can give them a call at 502-690-6764 to reserve your spot. And you can also visit lamkinwealth.com for more information.